for like the first half, almost like the most part of my mission, I was an English speaking missionary. But then suddenly one day my mission president, he called me and he told me that he's going to transfer me to Hyde Park Chapel to be a visitor center sister, and I will be speaking Mandarin and focusing on the Mandarin members in the ward, because they have never had a Chinese speaking sisters in the visitor center, although there were like tons of Chinese tourists and also students living in London. So they kind of want to use me as a guinea pig to test this out, to see how a Chinese speaking sisters can help the visitor center. So it was funny. So I moved there, and I was in the trio with my companions. And the first day I arrived there, they told me that, okay, we're going to teach this Chinese girl. She's an investigator, and you're going to teach her with this Chinese member, and we're going to go finding. I was like, what? I said, yeah, you're going to teach her everything in Chinese so she can understand, because we've been like teaching her everything in English, but we think that she should learn the gospel in her own language. And I totally freaked out. I was like, I never taught a lesson in Chinese before. I was trained in English, and then in Phil, I've only taught and bear testimony in English. How am I going to do this? And I was like, and they were like, oh no, it's okay. You can do it. We know you can do it. It's your native language. You will get it back like really quick. And I was totally freaking out. So at the lesson, I was teaching this girl with a Chinese member, and we were teaching the first lesson, the restoration of the gospel. Luckily, I guess I kind of had a feeling that somehow I used my Chinese on my mission. So about a month before that, I set a goal of memorizing the first vision in Chinese. So yeah, when I taught her that lesson, I got to use it, and it was an interesting experience, because it was as if like English was my first language and Chinese was my second language. Everything I taught, I had to think about them in English and then translate them into Chinese in my mind, and then say it slowly in a very awkward way. But the spirit was there, so it wasn't too awkward. And when I recite the first vision in Chinese, it was a beautiful experience. I always love reciting the first vision to my investigators, because I feel like when I recite the first vision, the spirit is always there. It's always so strong that to testify to them in their hearts that this experience is true, that God truly lives, and He answered a boy's prayer, and He can answer their prayers too. But reciting it in my own language was a bit different. Yeah, I just thought it's amazing that how the promise in the Doctrine and Covenants is fulfilling, that like people from everywhere in the world, they'll be able to hear the gospel in their own tongues, in their own language. Yeah, and I know that investigator, the girl, she has already been taught everything. So she has heard about Joseph Smith's first vision before, but she said that when she heard it in Chinese, she said it was different. She said it just went straight into her heart and strengthened her testimony in like Joseph Smith and Revelations even more. So I thought it was a fun experience for me, and it was funny that how after speaking so much English on my mission, I kind of forget about Chinese, but now I got it back.